Okay, this video is explaining the instructions for the Functionize Minecraft fishing assignment. Again, this is very similar to the lesson and the practice assignments. It's a functioning program, right? It works. If I'm Steve, I'm going to fish. It's just simulating the results of fishing, right? What are you going to catch when you try to go fishing? And we use random numbers for this, right? So if it's Steve, we get a random number. And from 0 to 0.7 means Steve's going to catch a cod. From 0.7 to 0.9, which is 20%, he's going to catch a salmon. From 0.9 to 0.95, which is 5%, he's going to catch a tropical fish. And then from 0.95 to 1, right, that's the else, that's a pufferfish, 5%. Okay, so Steve has these probabilities, whereas Alex, right, if you choose Alex, 0 to 0.1 is a cod, so only 10%. 0.1 to 0.2 is a salmon, only 10%. 0.2 to 0.5 is 30%, right? So that's the tropical, and the remaining else is going to be anything above 0.5, which is 50% chance of pufferfish. Right, so if I run this, Steve should catch a lot more cod and salmon and very rarely catch tropical fish and pufferfish, right? 70% chance of this, 20, right? So 20 and then 5 and 5. So that looks about right. Just going to refresh this for a second and choose Alex. And with Alex, we should see a lot more pufferfish and tropical fish, and only like a 10% chance of, 10% chance of each of these, whereas this was 30 and this was 50. Okay, so you can see that those probabilities are working. All right, but anyway, that's how the program works, and it's currently functioning, but we're going to use functions to make it function better. Okay, so again, just like the other ones, we've got this button clicked. It's going to get the character that's been selected, and it's going to test which character was it. Was the character Steve, or was the character Alex? And then the code inside of these if statements, right? Once again, you should recognize, well, hold on, what do I do here? I get a random number, and I test that random number and update the page to represent which fish I caught. If it's Alex, I get a random number, and then I test that random number, and I update whether I got a cod or salmon or tropical or pufferfish based on the probabilities. So the code for Steve, right, inside the if statement for Steve, and the code inside the if statement for Alex, very, very similar again. The only difference is what numbers we use to represent the different probabilities for the fish they catch. Okay, so your job is to make this program more efficient and organized by rewriting a function that will simulate the catch of one fish based on the provided probabilities, right? These provided kind of breakpoints that we use, because those are the values that need to change. And then what you could do as well is, once you have that function written and you've used it for Steve and you used it for Alex, you could add, I've got a picture here of the villager. So you could add the villager to the page, right? Add it to the drop-down menu, add the picture of the villager here. And once you add, let's look at the HTML. Yeah, you can just add another option for the villager. You can add another image for the villager. And then inside of the JavaScript code, if the character is the villager, call the function again, and the villager is going to have an equal probability of catching each type of fish. So 25% cod, 25% salmon, 25 tropical fish, 25% pufferfish. Okay, so and once you have the function written, that's kind of the cool thing with the assignment. Once you've done Steve and Alex, to add the villager is so easy, because you just have to, right, add the option to select them, and then the actual JavaScript code, you just call the function with different numbers. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you're starting to train your brain to recognize, hey, this code's very similar. I think I could reuse, and make a function and reuse that code in the function and get this done more efficiently. Okay, all the best, take care, and see you in the next video.